In this bull market, most people will be led astray and sell their investments too soon. Perhaps a lengthy cycle is the central theme of the most current picture. According to this graph, they are all males now. Up to 2026, the bull market will only grow stronger. Rumor has it that some Writing 75 people drew this chart 150 years ago, and they were spot on. But it predicts that 2026 will be the next peak, so that's when you should look to sell shares with a broad range of values for greater prices. That these guys don't believe in the Riddler is the strangest part. I believe in him. A red alert in the area did suggest it was good to hold off until this year, but you know your men would do the same. Many individuals will sell in the first quarter or the fourth quarter. Let's suppose, however, we continue to cross until around the year 2026. This is why it's a bad idea to attempt market timing, guys. Rather, we ought to merely bob on the waves. There has been much chatter about an impending recession, but it is obvious that they will immediately recoup their losses if that were to occur. Rob Powell predicts that most cryptocurrency investors would be too traumatized by the 2021 bull run to wait until 2025 before selling, and that this might happen again in 2020. He made our proposal visible to us. What if we could fool everyone and turn everything upside down? Things would last longer and be better with this. Captivating directs your attention to this. During the last run, most participants in the previous cycle reported severe post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, due to their vivid memories of the 2017 cycle when questioned about it. In 2017, the market had a surge in March or during tax season, followed by a decline and then a tenfold increase in just 4 months. You were obliged to make an effort to clearly explain things to us. Consequently, my previous assumption was correct. The correction would be seen during tax season. A massive correction down 50 followed the subsequent bounce. Everyone then thought, all right, it'll be 2017 again as it skyrocketed. However, this was not due to the fact that the major banks were beginning to reduce their liquidity. There was an end to the massive quantities of liquidity that had accelerated the business cycle. Because of this, I fear that many people will put off tax season until March and then be caught unawares when they pass them on X. This will lead them to believe that my liquidity work will result in an early top, which may or may not materialize. But it does reveal that it reaches its highest point around the turn of the year. However, this could be altered depending on liquidity conditions. But if you only believe that the dangers are present, then those who betrayed you in 2026 were probably correct. Like me in 2017, they might have made a mistake and departed too quickly. You discover that it has been sold again, this time for a substantially greater price, when you attempt to purchase it again. I went through that. During that crash, I eventually purchased lower back. In COVID-19, I sold it for $2,000 instead of giving it in for $6,000. Holy cow. It is with great pleasure that we announce that XRP is the same thing for males. I warned them not to do anything in the $1 range because, among other things, what if it keeps going up? When I said that, few people really bought. Typically, market men act in opposition to public expectations on market behavior. That is the equivalent of the agreement being spoken. Quite a few people will back Q12025 in 2025, according to what I've heard. Outside of the red alert and us proper, no one has mentioned 2026, which is rather lovely. So be it. The method I use to transition from energy to weak spot difference, as I mentioned before, involved an exponential growth in the gap between the 2 points. Fine, everyone. I tweeted out to the men what I anticipate will happen. So yes, I did say that we'll understand. Final message. All right, I have faith that XRP will maintain its upward trajectory, allowing us to remain in the double digits regardless of a recession. If the USCT chart dominance dropped to about 3% and the VIX dropped to approximately $10, this idea would become stronger. However, this alerts me in the event that a black quarter is on its way. We remain bullish, or at least I am, until that happens, and we even purchase more right when a crash hits. Consequently, regardless of the market's movement, we will consistently be ahead of rough records. This is all in good fun, but I really think the present bull cycle will keep happening at regular intervals. Cryptos will give rise to a brand new financial instrument after this cycle concludes, won't they? In our opinion, utility tokens and coins are beginning to bridge the gap between the physical and virtual worlds, ushering in a new era of widespread financial integration for digital commodities. Very well. Because of this, creators become visionaries very fast. Just where are we at this point? Are we currently in the early majority, or are we about to transition? Very well. But although everyone has an opinion, some may grow weary of hearing it from you repeatedly. In this stage, before the new financial system is completely operational, the early adopters of new technology, and perhaps even the early majority, get the most benefits. Profits will likely decline beyond that point as a result of reduced risk due to the system's stability. That's why, despite the high risk, they offer incentives for joining the early birds, isn't it? The answer is obvious, but I usually imagine that we'll construct a new furniture machine out of all the papers we've read, or analyze men based on the movie's distinctive proof in the pudding that we've witnessed so far. So it doesn't happen to me very often. So the creator of Binance, CZ, has stated that governments will issue fiat currency in order to purchase Bitcoin with the intention of establishing strategic Bitcoin stocks. It's going uphill for us. Holy cow. According to the CZ folks, an insider or former insider, I'm not sure about his current status, is essentially claiming that governments would create money out of thin air in order for people to buy Bitcoin. Very well. They likely increase the amount of their own imaginary currency and then use it to purchase Bitcoin. Now, if that occurs, it might set off a chain reaction where other individuals are interested in purchasing Bitcoin. An international currency note expires. One of them succeeds. He continues by speculating that governments may be accumulating Bitcoin reserves for potential future usage. All of these things, in case you don't believe